to the other side, right? To move it over. So we have to plus 8 to the other side. Well, 8 and x are not terms. You can't combine them. So we would just leave it as x plus 8 on this side. So see, Miriam, you were multiplying x by 8, which you did on that one. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. But now with this 2y, the 2 and the y are being multiplied. So now to get rid of the 2, you actually now have to do the opposite, which is now you can divide. So then this whole thing is division by 2. So if we solve for y on this, y equals x plus 8 over 2. Miriam, does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, good. But yeah, so Miriam, if you go back, I think it'll be really easy for you to fix them because you did that thing with all of them because they all had some number on the end, so it kind of messed it all up. All right, Bree, let's see. You've got y squared minus 2 equals x. So very good, you added 2. Okay, so looks like this. You added 2, nice job. And then you got y squared equals x plus 2. And then you took the square root. Excellent job. And actually you have the right answer. In fact, you wrote it in 2 different ways. Bree, see, you've got this. Do the problems and you'll be just fine. Go in, do the work. You can do it. Do it in between paintings. So yeah, you get y is equal to the square root of x plus 2. But if you guys notice, Bree also wrote it as, it could be written as x plus 2 all raised to the 1/2 power, because that 1/2 power means square root. So either answer. Excellent job. All right, Emma. All right, Emma. You got a tough one here, but we're going to solve it. So you started off perfect. You subtracted the 12, which is what you'd want to do, right? Move it to the other side. Oh wait, what am I doing? Ugh, no, we're not solving for x, we're solving for y. Sorry, Emma, that is not what you want to do first. Sorry, confused. All right, so we want to solve for y. Actually, Emma, we want to solve for y. So I was probably confusing you because I'm like, yeah, that's good. Okay, so all you guys struggle with these fractions. The way to get rid of a fraction is just to multiply by the inverse. So you would just multiply by 4 over 1. That's the inverse. You just flip it. Because 1/4 times 4 over 1 is just 1, right? So this side just becomes y. Well, whatever you multiply the left side or right side by, you have to multiply the other side by as well. So that means we take 4 over 1 and we multiply that by 12 plus x. And now that equals y, because these have canceled. So Emma, that's all you had to do. One thing you could do if you wanted to have a better answer was you could distribute the 4 into the parentheses. So you could do, for example, 4 times 12 and 4 times x. So you could have got 48 plus 4x equals y. And that's better because it's a little bit more simplified, just so you know. And actually, Unique, you had one where you divided by the fraction, which is not wrong, so I did not mark you off. But did you notice how like bad your answer was as far as like all these? It wasn't bad. It was actually the right answer. It was just that it was had a lot of complex stuff in there, I guess, because you had a fraction divided by a fraction. And so instead, if you multiply by the reciprocal, it'll look nicer. That's what I mean. It'll look nicer. All right. All right, Trevor, let's see. What do you got going on here? You are number 4. All right, so very good. So you subtracted the 12, which is exactly what you'd want to do. Subtract the 12. You're on the right track. So on this side, oh, you are looking at it, Unique? Very good, very good. But see, it's okay. It's correct. It's just messy is all. So on this side, Trevor, you would have x minus 12 equals 5y, right? Because these zero out, and you can't combine x and 12. And then it looks like you divided by 5, which is exactly what you'd want to do. Divide both sides by 5, like this and like this. And so y equals x minus 12 all over 5. Very good. And just kind of a formatting thing, Trevor, and everybody does this. Because you want to divide x minus 12 by 5, it's sometimes better to put it in parentheses if you write it the way you did so that people don't get confused and only divide the 12 by 5, if that makes sense. Because that sometimes happens. So If you put it in parentheses, then everyone will know you're dividing the x and the 12 by 5. Just so you know. Perfect. Yes, I see you're adding your parentheses. Very nice. Very nice. All right, Unique. You're on to number 5. So you would want to add 4, which looks like you did. You added 4. So then you get x plus 4 on this side and y squared on this side because these go away. And you took the square root, which is exactly correct. So to get rid of the squared, you have to square root. So we do the square root. And in the end, we say that y is equal to the square root of x plus 4. Or you could write it like Bree did, and you could write x plus 4 to the 1/2 power. So very good, guys. Very good. Now what I'm going to do, just because no one did it, it's a hard one, is this last one. So obviously all you guys right now in your brains are thinking, add 8, Miss Elliott, add 8. So we are adding 8. So this is one of those fractions. Yes, but Unique, notice that I didn't quite call this an inverse, so I already switched x and y for you, just so you guys could practice solving for y. Because when you guys were doing inverses, once you figured out how to switch x and y, everybody was doing that okay, but then people were struggling to solve for y, so that's why I put these up. So they're not quite. We are going to do that though. So you guys remember we have a fraction, multiply by the inverse, so multiply by 3 over 2. Trevor, you might have done one like this too, actually. But anyway, so if you multiply this side by 3 over 2, and again, notice the parentheses, multiply the left side by 3 over 2. So these cancel, and you're just left with y. And you know what? You guys can leave it like this if you want, or you could distribute the 3/2 into the parentheses. If you did that, though, it'll look like, oh, got some extra stuff down here. This must be from our last webinar. Sorry, guys. Lots of extra things going on here. Okay, so if we did distribute into the parentheses, then we would take 3/2 times x, which is 3/2 x, and then 3/2 times 8, which is the same as 8 over 1. So you would get 24 over 2, which can simplify to 12. So you could leave it like that too. That's another option. Or we could simplify even more and get 12. That's another option. Okay, so lots of options for you guys, lots of options. All right, any questions on solving for y? You guys all good? Looks like, okay. All right, you guys, well, that pretty much, I mean, that is the bulk of actually kind of our lesson today, was to find the inverse of a function. So we're going to obviously do the full thing, like Unique was asking about that, because everyone was just really struggling with that. And some people weren't just switching x and y, they were switching the coefficients and then the squares, and so they had to redo them. But you guys did a good job when you redid them. So just remember, you guys, post in the discussion to actually receive credit for the webinar. Try to post right away, because then it'll be really quick and in your brain. And then there's only 2 weeks remaining. So just know, only 2 weeks remaining. The good news is that you have, when you get done Friday with the material, you'll still have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday grades are due. So you'll at least have some days if you need to redo anything or do a couple extra assignments. Okay. All right, guys, here we go. So we are actually going to find the inverse. So some of you guys have not done this assignment yet, but now you'll be able to do it really, really well. So the only thing we didn't do on that last assignment was step 1 and 3, but those are the easiest steps. So step 1 is switch x and y, but only the variables. This is where some people were switching 3x, but you only want to switch the variables. So when you do that, that becomes x, this becomes y. See how that is, you guys? Do you see how that goes? And then, so if you look at this middle one, y becomes x, and x becomes y. And on the last one, y becomes x, and x becomes y. Notice that the squared stays where it is. Notice the 1/5 stays where it is, and that the 3 stays where it is. So You don't want to switch those, and some people were doing that. And then this is just like what you guys just finished doing. So step 2 is solve for y. But just be careful, you have to completely solve for y. So when you do this, and I think, Trevor, you actually did a really good job switching and almost solving, but then you kind of left, like you would leave it hanging, like you would be like this and you'd be done. But you haven't actually solved for y because you have a 3 in front of the y. So just make sure you solve all the way. And actually, though, you just now solved all the way on your example problem, so very nice job. So then you would just divide all that by 3 and you'd be done. And then step 3, this is more just a formality. You know, it's not like I would necessarily mark you wrong, but as you guys get up in math, you know, you should use function notation. And so instead of y, we would use inverse notation just to show that what we found is an inverse. So we found an inverse. We found the inverse of y equals 3x minus 15. All right. So I think you guys are pretty good. I'm not going to do these other two because we just finished doing a bunch of them. But let's actually, what I'll have you guys do is try to do your own. So you're going to start from the beginning, and then you're going to go all the way down until you write it in function notation. So are there any questions? Oh, I know, Emma, I know. Actually, look, you're on your last one. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll help you guys individually too if you need help, but go ahead and find the inverse. So do all 3 steps, switch x and y, solve, and write it in function notation. And if you want to do a challenge and you want to do Student Notepad 6 after you do your own, feel free. Or if you finish your own and you're like, hey, I want to do another one that somebody else is doing, you can do that too. So do as many as you like, actually. Feel free. And then as soon as you're done and I've checked you off, feel free to go. Only thing is just remember that there's a wrap up and tick it out, and it's just the same kind of question. What did you learn? What questions might you have? If you don't have any questions, maybe you can answer somebody else's question, or maybe you have a question about somebody else's post. But just kind of write what you learned. And what's good about it is then people who didn't watch the webinar, they can see what you learned, and then that can help them realize, oh, I forgot about that. So it's actually good. So you guys are my favorite webinar class. Can I just tell you guys, you're so fast and rapid. You guys are awesome. Sorry, messing you guys up. So Trevor, you got, oh, hey, Elliot. Oh, wait, no. Oh, Mrs. Elliott, not Elliot. Oh, Elliot's not here. Oh, hang on one second. Who's in Notepad 6, by the way? I don't even know. Okay, I'll come back to you just a second. So Trevor, you have one more step, right? You still have to solve for y. You have it as y squared. So think about how do you undo the squared. And then unique, you are good. Same thing though, I would put x minus 7 in parentheses just because it looks like you're only dividing the 7 by 2. And then in student 6, I don't know who's in student 6 right now. Maybe it's Miriam. You subtract 3. Ah, you mean by 3/4? Oh, hey, Unique. Oh, you're in that one now. Okay, so Unique, what you're going to do is multiply by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. So instead of dividing by 3/4, which you could do, you could multiply both sides by 4/3, and that would work. So in other words, does that make sense? So in other words, you've got, oh wait, you have x, because you switched them both, right? And so now you have x minus 3 equals 3/4 y. So what you can do is multiply the right side by 4/3, because that's the reciprocal, and then multiply the left side by 4/3, and then that's how you solve for y. Yes, yes, Unique, very good. And Trevor, square root. Very good, very good. Very good, Trevor, you got it. Why are there letters in math? Well, Central Classroom, there are letters in math because math is supreme over all. You should ask Miriam, who just left. She can explain it to you. Those, no, English is really an umbrella under math, just so you guys know. Yes, it is. It is housed under math. Everything is housed under math. I try to tell you guys that all the time. Nobody ever listens to me. All right, so unique, so can it be left like that? You can actually leave it like that, unique, if you want to, or you could distribute it. Now, if we were to distribute it, you would get, oh, I'm sorry, by the way, Trevor, you are in good shape now. If you are good to go if you want to go, and Miriam is gone. Bree, you are good as well. Sorry, I was losing track. That looks really good, Bree and Trevor. So if you guys want to go, you can, or you can stay and do questions if you want. So 4/3 x minus, so if you multiplied this, remember it's like 3 over 1, you would get 12 over 3. And so you could do that and then reduce 12/3 to 4, unique if you want to. Oh, good, Trevor. Good, I can help you. Ah, so you can do that, or you can leave it. Oh, good, unique. Put it in your notebook. Very nice, yes. And then actually, yeah, so unique, you don't need to go back and change that other one. By the way, I was just merely pointing out that you could make it more simple and happy, you know. So you are good too. So is everyone good? So Miriam is good. She's gone. Bree, you are good. Do you need any help, Bree? Do you want to stick around, or are you good to go? Ah, a lot of catching up. Okay, you can, yeah, Bree, if you want to go, that's fine, but it looks really good. So Trevor, just so you can see with like what Bree did, because she skipped a step, is, you didn't really skip a step, Bree, you just did it in your head. But anyway, she multiplied by the reciprocal here, and then multiplied by 2 over 1 here, or 2. And then, nice job, you, oh, and then of course you switched x and y, sorry, forgot to do that. Let's erase that, erase that. So this was now y, and this was x. But yeah, so what Bree did is multiplied both sides by 2, and then she distributed and got the very simplified form. So that was good, Bree. All right, so Trevor and Unique, do you need to stay too, Unique, or are you good for now? Bye, Bree. You're welcome. You're welcome. You have a nice day too, Unique. Very nice day. Doing very good. All right. So, Trevor, I think you are the last one left. Oh, wait, what do we do? Oh, here, Unique, I'll show you. It's just a theme. So, post just one thing you learned. Yeah, right in the discussion on Schoology. Any something you learned? What was the most difficult or easiest part of this lesson, or a question? Something like that. So, and then respond to a couple other people's posts. And I think Miriam has already posted, so just so you know. All right, Trevor, do you want to use your microphone, or do you have something quick, or do you know what you want to go over? You know, Trevor, that's what happens when you go into a math classroom. It makes you want to stay. Just so you know, I'm going to end